Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm gonna be finishing up this animation. Now, I did hold off on streaming just yet, and I'll go over that in a minute. I just wanted to get set up real quick, but yeah, I am starting a little late. It's like 2, 3 hours after my usual time, which is really bad on my part. But once I go over it, you're gonna understand why I did what I did. But for now, just don't worry about that. Let's just get into this animation and enjoy ourselves, folks. So right now, what I'm really working on is the eyes. If I zoom out real quick, you can actually see that I've colored pretty much everything else. Oop, I actually forgot the feet, so that's a bit bad on my part, but for the most part, the eyes are done. I do need to color the right eye real quick. I also need to go over this segment right here. And then I need to color the feet as well. But for the most part, I'm almost done. The bulk of the animation that I've been working on is complete. Then I just need to color the effects. I was looking back at my past concept art, and I do like the look of the like black sclera and then the red pupil. It gives a nice differentiation from a model. And I just picked the red from the hair ribbon to cast over the eye for the red. So I do want to redo these eyes just because they didn't really come out how I wanted them to. Now it is storming outside, so I may, in fact, cut the stream to an end, at least for. We'll play it by ear, see how it goes. Let's see here. Modify, transform, and then we are going to, I think it's flip vertical. It is flip horizontal. So the reason why I'm starting so late is because I actually ended up going to the mall earlier because I had applied to work at. Hang on a second. I had applied to work at Best Buy, but turns out the hiring manager had already hired somebody. So then I'm like, okay, well, I pretty much just wasted my time. So I ended up just going back home after that. And I'm gonna just be honest, it's kind of hard looking for a job. Oh yeah, the rain is coming down now. Like there's thundering and there's storming and all that. Exactly. Better luck next time. I mean, really? Because what I'm looking for mostly. Oh, hello, Miss Nick Sunny. How are you? Welcome to the stream. But like I was saying, mainly what I'm looking for is just a nice part-time position because I am trying to do more graphic design on the side and see where that takes me, see where that goes. Really, because all anyone can do is just take things one step at a time, especially in this economy. Like, things are just, I'm not going to say terrible, but like, people want things a certain way, and the economy just has not caught up with that. So it's really difficult for everybody, not just me. Well, you see, that's the thing with AI. AI can only do so much, and then because of the Supreme Court's ruling, AI images are not. You can't copyright an AI image because how the software works is it takes samples from multiple different points of references. So, I mean, like, someone can try to make an AI image logo, but that's not really gonna work. And then there are many things that human design and human ingenuity can do, like simplistic designs. And then there's also just faster response time when it comes to humans who do graphic design more freelance. Like you can get human input and they can say, hey, move that digit like 3 or 4 pixels to the left, or could you go a bit simpler? Responsive, that's the word I'm looking for, responsive. No, we're not all doomed because there is a level of human ingenuity that will always get more response and this sort of. What I'm trying to say is that there's a human value. There's a human value to all things, and there's just a spiritual value to much of the content that we consume. And it's really not a matter of, oh, AI can learn, AI can grow and develop, but we do have certain things that just need that human aspect. It needs a soul, is what I'm trying to say. Certain things we work on, do, consume, it has a special soul or spirit to it. And a spirit cannot be replicated by AI. In fact, I would even go as far to say that AI can harm someone's spirit. Like I would say, even with this animation right here, if I really wanted to, I probably could have taken more of my time and then the quality would have been more consistent. The only reason why I didn't is because this is more so a study on my bite animation and not necessarily my character detail. Like if I took like I could have taken like what 3, 4 extra days on this, but I mainly wanted to focus on my effects. And I do think that when it comes to this animation, definitely my character modeling has gotten better compared to my teaser trailer animation that I did. Like, this is far better. And it's that human aspect, that sort of want and desire to grow, and not just to grow, but also to project our soul and project our passion onto our work, which is what makes people love animation and what makes people love media and content to begin with. It's that projection of the soul. You can't mass produce something, you can't computer generate a spirit. The whole reason why something is so engaging is because there was an intention and spirit behind it. Like Supercell, that new Netflix TV show about people with sickle cell anemia, specifically black people having superpowers. Like, AI can't replace something like that. AI can't generate an idea like that. That's something that's completely and utterly unique. Oh, that's completely fine. Nothing's wrong with your Wi Fi. Like, just chat when you can, talk when you can, do what you can. I don't mind. You don't need to be Johnny on the spot. Yeah, that's such an old saying. That's such an old thing for me to say. I mean, shoot, if I'm being completely honest, there's a thunderstorm right now, so my Wi Fi might get knocked out. But it's all good because I'm still animating, I'm still doing something I love, so I really don't mind. I don't even know if you guys can hear the thunder that's going on right now. Like right here, these legs are off. If I want to, I can go back in and I can add more detail or I can fix them. Actually, yeah, that might be what I do. Because that's really what happens as you animate and as you draw is you will see yourself grow, you will see yourself get better. So it's really good to capitalize on that growth. And if it's possible, if you have the time, to at least try to. Hmm. Johnny on the spot essentially means like being that one person, that one guy in your friend group or in your company who's like there on time, sometimes even a few minutes early, like you're a dependable person. That's what Johnny on the spot means. I would say the Bible. I'm a man of faith, so to begin with, I was born and raised Christian. Like my grandmother, she would take me to church every Sunday, every other Sunday. When I was, as I grew up, I would say more so in my college years. Towards the end of high school and in my college years, I sort of fell away from the church. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my own thing. Like, I'm just going to do this, do that. And I ended up being very sad and very miserable. And I noticed that when I was in that place, I noticed a lot of other people who were miserable and they were just in habit. Like they didn't even like the stuff they were doing. They were just doing it because that was all that they were used to. So it wasn't until I got my job in retail and I was still sort of upset because, hey, I'm a college graduate and I'm working in retail. That's not necessarily something that you want to do or experience. So that was when I started reading my Bible more. And I ended up going back to church and I felt better. And so, because I've always been creative as a child and knew that I wanted to do things in the creative realm, I started drawing inspiration for my art from the Bible. Because here's the thing that you have to remember like, Jesus himself used parable. Jesus himself used parable. God himself told stories. There's a lot of symbolism, even when it comes to dreams. Like, the common thing in the Christian And Abrahamic faith is that God will give his people visions and give his people sort of missions or stories through their dreams, which is full of symbolism, like dreams of sheep or dreams of being like in prison, or I believe it was Joseph, son of Jacob. He had a dream about sheep and how he was herding 11 other sheep, or like his sheep was at the front, basically implying that he would lead and rule over his brothers. And that's what led to him being sold by his brothers to Pharaoh, because his brothers were jealous. Like, why do we gotta follow Joseph? Da 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 da. Sold their brother into slavery. So then I'm like, exactly. There's a lot of stories. You see, the issue with that is we have in Christianity, we have something known as the old guard, and I did a whole video essay on this about um, art, about like cartoons being seen as made for kids. Like I did a whole dissertation paper slash video essay for my college when I was pursuing my major. That was sort of my capstone project. I did a whole dissertation paper about it, about how there's essentially this old guard Christians who believe that every single cartoon is made for the devil and you shouldn't watch it and you shouldn't consume it, yada yada yada. Basically born from control, but more so I would say that mentality is more so birthed from the counterculture that happened during the, I want to say, 70s and 80s counterculture slash hippie movement, because of the sort of free reign that was going on in the moment. That's what led to the televangelist era, where we had a bunch of different TV personalities trying to make a quick buck in the TV scene and filming their church sermons online, or filming them to, not online, but like having them on Sunday morning TV, stuff like that, pastors and selling books, stuff like that. That's what led to the Satanic Panic, and it also led to the Memphis Three. You know, those three emo boys who got charged for some horrible stuff involving children, which they never did, and it was proven in court that they never did it. But that's what led to the Satanic Panic. And then the Satanic Panic led to the war on Pokemon and the social war on D&D, even though those old guard Christians keep forgetting that Jesus himself was a storyteller, that Jesus himself told stories and used symbolism, that God himself gave dreams to people and prophetic dreams to people. They ignore that and keep saying everything is of the devil. But I'm not really like that. I love stories. I love movies. And if I'm being completely honest, it was my return to faith as well as my love for Genshin Impact. Now, let me get something straight. I love me some Genshin Impact. I will play that game forever. I'm kind of one of those people who are upset that Natland is full of pale people, but we'll talk about that. That's for like a future stream. That's for a future video. I'll go over that in a minute. But Genshin Impact and its archons have led me closer to God. As funny as that sounds, because of the story structure, it gives us a human perspective on a being of power. And because it gives us that first person perspective on beings of power, that then allows us to have empathy for the God that we serve. I was surprised when you said it was the Bible. I would have never guessed I had bad experiences that led me to leave religion. But I'm really happy that you can create something you love that way. I mean, also, another thing that you have to realize is the Bible, the present day Bible, like the King James Version and the New International Version, it's actually an incomplete text. There are only. And that's the thing when it comes to the Bible. The modern day Bible is an incomplete text. Like, it says that there are only 66 books, 33 in the. Wait, what was it again? Like 43 in the New Testament and 13 in the. Anyway, 66 books. Um, when in actuality, there's more like 88 books or 80 books in the Bible. Like, you have the Apocrypha, you have the Dead Sea Scrolls, you have the Book of Enoch, you have the Book of Jasher, Jubilees. Um, Obadiah is already in the Bible. That's not Apocrypha. But there are multiple different books. The Book of Adam and Eve, the Book of Baruch, a lot of hidden and lost texts. Like, if you actually read those books, like, they tell stories of like fallen angels having children with human women, and the false gods that you see are actually those sons, those men of renown born between angels, the sons of men, the sons of God, and human men and women. You have stories about people being sent to captivity, and books of Revelation about how the kings of the earth are going to be swallowed up in the time of, like, a bunch of wild and amazing stuff, and people doing miracles that are going to be far greater than Jesus himself in that time of Revelation. So it's like, really, this world, the world of the seven sages, is just that, I want to say, swan song, or more like, I guess you could say it's almost like a prophecy on that book of Revelation, as well as taking inspiration from the book of Enoch. Like, the book of Enoch was a very big inspiration for my show. Oh, wow, it's actually getting really dark, like a storm is rolling through. If you guys could see my if you guys could see my window right now, like, it is just coming down, and it's only 1:34. That's wild. And like, that's the amazing thing about the archons is, and I'm actually working on a speed paint series right now where I go over, excuse me, where I go over each archon and I sort of give a character study on each of them and how they relate to an aspect of the Bible. Like my first video was Venti, and I went over how Venti's free will is a lot like the concept of freedom from the Bible, and about how God gives us the freedom to do as we choose, but we're also not free from consequences, and how we willingly choose to follow God, but in that same vein and same way, while there is constriction with following God, it's also a great feeling of liberty. And then how Venti also relates to Moses of the Bible, and how Moses has led his people out of captivity. Venti being a wind spirit, he rescued his people from the evil god Decarabian, who had trapped his people into an eternal storm. I mean, I wouldn't really call myself wise. It's just when you go through hardship and you finally find something that is your way, you cling to it. And it makes you feel completion as well as a sort of consistency and acceptance. Like I can be like I'm gonna just be honest. Like earlier in my life, you can call it age, you can call it being lost, whatever you want to, but I was envious, I was angry, I was hateful, like I was just so upset like why am I this way? And why can't I get a job in the industry? And why is everything going wrong? And why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Why aren't things working for me? And no matter what I do, things just won't come to fruition for me. But like, it was really that, for me, finding religion helped me come to terms with many things. And actually, in hindsight, I can say that there was a reason why I went through the things that I did. Like, I was applying to a bunch of jobs in California, trying to get into the industry. And now, as we see, like, a few years later, there's stories about folks getting attacked in California, folks getting, what's it called? Folks having to do, like, dark things in order to get into the industry and becoming nude models. And you got folks being assaulted. You got stories about how just a bunch of very nasty and horrible stuff. And then you have the artist strike, not the artist strike, the actor strike, and the writer strike. That happened for what, like a year and a half? Maybe not a year and a half, more like 8 months. But it was a really long time for that strike. And then after the strike ended, like they started closing down on writing and actor positions, and now not everyone can find work. And because of the strike, and because the strike happened, like now there's a bunch of small businesses that relied on Hollywood, like many different cafes and restaurants that are local to the area, they ended up closing down. And then you have the migrant crisis that's going on, and how the government is bleeding taxpayer money in order to pay for the migrant crisis. And then they just made homelessness illegal, but they have a huge homelessness problem. On top of that, you have just a bunch of stuff going on in California. Like it's flooding one minute, then there's forest fires the next, then there's just. Honestly, California right now is going through its own apocalypse. So I think it was really good, and that's that part of my faith that told me, hey, it's a good thing that you stayed home with your mother, and hey, it's a good thing that you didn't go to California because now all this terrible stuff is happening. Let me just get a sip of water real quick because I have been talking for a while. And really, all I can say is California is demonic. That's really all that can be said right now at this point is California is full of demons. California is full of demons. That's really all anyone can say, and that can be said. Actually, I'm gonna have to go back through this and let me alter the alpha of this. I'll likely lower it to about, let's do 50. So then I can go back through and I can redraw. You're welcome. Come back anytime. I love chatting. I love talking. And the stream is definitely going to go for, I want to say, another hour, maybe two. But if you feel the urge to come back, then definitely come back. Actually, gonna have to go back and because I may have to make this wider. Sir is coming down outside. I wonder if I can use the previous design. I mean, not the previous design, but because I do like how this looks. Maybe if I can. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to turn this on. And then let me compare them real quick. I wonder then if I can actually take this previous frame right here and see if I can let's copy this frame and then I'll just insert it right here. Then I can take these two and sort of overlap them atop each other. Because what I'm trying to do is keep the coloring consistent at least as much as possible. Dang, I'm just gonna have to redo this whole entire thing, aren't I? Because when you draw on model, it gets easier. That's really the downside of doing this. So I wonder. I mean, I could erase it all, but then there would just be so much for me to redraw. And this would be too much. Like, this boot is too high. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just like doing it to do it, like trying to get it over and done with. And so that's why at this point I had just decided to draw the legs on a different frame. And that's really what I should have done to begin with. I just wasn't really thinking in the moment. Which is terrible because now I have to go back and sort of rework some stuff with my animation. So this right here is a bad frame. Now if I can erase this. So we're going to do this. And we're just going to go over and erase all of this. And so, because of the foot placement, this should stay stationary. Hmm. This boot isn't coming out right. I am gonna have to. Oh, hi, Blaze. How are you? Welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I was actually saying that I'm gonna have to cut off some of this right here. Because when I had drawn this the first time, I made the boots too high. I'm doing good, just working on this animation and seeing where things go. So this is just a fight animation I'm working on. I'm mainly working on special effects. The entire body is just secondary. This is for one of the main characters of my show, The Seven Sages. I'm working on the pilot. That's sort of a work in progress at the moment. But I'm just going back through the animation and I'm trying to add more detail or edit some stuff where I can. Because one of the things I need to work on personally is my. The proper word is consistency. I'm trying to work on my consistency. Because I have a bad habit. Like, when you are a self taught anything, or rather, when you're doing independent studies and independent exercises to grow your skills, there are moments and times where you have. Yes, I do use Adobe Animate. There are moments and times where you have lapses in your animation, or rather, lapses in your skills that you have to work on independently. And so, specifically for me, this is mainly an animation that goes over me working on my effects. The show I'm working on has a lot of magic that's involved with it, so that's going to be a lot of particle animation as well as 2D effects animation. So I've been working on that, and the character model has been sort of secondary, but because of that, it's been hard for me to stay on model for the character. Hello? Another robocaller. I really should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yes, it's mainly about special effects. There really is no cohesive story. I do, in fact, want to branch out and do like mini short stories, at least on my way to working on my pilot. Because my main thing is I'm trying to get more subscribers before I go gung ho into my animation, into my pilot, I mean. So that's mainly what I've been trying to do. And so, really, everything else has been sort of secondary for me. Like, if we go earlier into the animation, you can actually see sort of segments like. I still got my onion skin on. Segments like this. Magic is also another big thing in this world. So, things like magic circles and formula are also going to be really big. Hmm. Drawing tablets are actually pretty cheap nowadays. My first drawing tablet was a Wacom. I believe I only paid like 114. No, no, no. This one, the Wacom one, was 114. The first one I got was like a small $30 drawing tablet. And then this one was. It's actually been a while. I don't remember how much this one was, but it was quite a bit. I remember working at my uncle's auto shop and I saved up. And okay, so here's the thing. I was working at my uncle's auto shop, and because I worked weekends, like he would give me usually $50 after every Sunday after I worked. So that was like a nice little part time job I had. And so I ended up saving two of my paychecks. Oh, US dollars. So I ended up saving two of my paychecks. I had like 150, 100. No, I just had like $100 really. And then my mom paid the tax. And I ended up paying like $114 for my first tablet. And then this one was the Wacom one. And I believe it was around 300 or $400 for this one. It's been so long because I've had it for like 4 years now. It's been a while. But yeah, my uncle, he went on to glory. He's no longer with us. But it was doing that part time job for him that allowed me to get my first tablet. So I will always be grateful and thankful for that. It is definitely coming down outside. Like there's thundering, and I'm gonna be honest. If I hear like a crack of lightning, I'm gonna cut the stream off, and I'll probably do another stream either. Well, usually my two big stream days are Tuesdays and Fridays. Those are usually when I live stream. But like I don't know, like probably Sunday night maybe. Well, so here it about R 1,001 to Czar. It's 17. Well, never mind. Glory to your uncle. He helped you get. So there's like $1 is 17 Czar. So if $1 is 17 Czar, that's gonna be 17 times 114. So that's gonna be 1,938 Czar in your currency. So that's probably so yeah, that's a lot of money. Well, I mean, based on conversion, it's not really that much money, but I guess considering cost of living in your nation, it could be a lot. And then we have the Wacom One tablet. I don't know why I'm trying to guess. I literally have a computer right in front of me. Yeah, I paid. So the Wacom One 13, that's $599. This one, I believe, is the Wacom 110, maybe, or Wacom. Like, this is an old one. I couldn't have paid no more than like $300 for this. 300, maybe 350. So, given your conversion rate, 350 times 17. So, yeah, in your nation, given the conversion, that's probably going to be around 6,000 ZAR, which is definitely a lot of money. And trust me, I'm not rolling in it. Like, I don't have money like that. I'm just giving, like, numbers. It was really hard for me to get this. I had to save up a lot of money, and I even had to go into my savings account. Don't even get me started on the price of my computer. First of all, this is a gaming computer. And right off the bat, I had to shell out like $1,000 for the monitor. I don't mean to brag. I'm not like a bragging person. And I hope I'm not coming off as bragging. Because that is not my intention in the slightest. Like, I already know. Talking about money, I could be struck down right now. And everything would cease to be. But honestly, any tablet is good. The only reason why I got the Wacom One is because it has a built in screen to it. So that's really why I got this one, just so I can see what I'm drawing. For the longest time for my animations, I used a drawing tablet that didn't have a built in screen. But I was able to start somewhere, grow and hone my skills until I could finally get something I actually wanted. And even then, my skills still aren't that great. They're not the greatest. But I'm trying and I continue to try and I continue to grow and develop, which is really the only thing you can do, especially in today's day and age. I mean, thank you for saying that. I'm really just being myself. That's sort of all I do is just unapologetically be myself because the world is so dark nowadays and folks are so sad and things are just, I wouldn't say hopeless, but from a spiritual standpoint, we are going through a change, I guess you could say. So, me trying to be as nice as I can, that's really all I ever ask and try to do is just be a good person. Because really, that's all that can be done. And like even in my animation, I still struggle with my shaky hand. Like I have like a I wouldn't say a really shaky hand, but sometimes it can be difficult drawing as well as just keeping my stuff consistent. Currently, I'm using 24 frames per second. You can actually see it right here in the top left corner of the timeline. Industry standard is 24 frames per second, and that's mainly just a timing thing because many animators, I mean, you can animate at 60 FPS or even 30 FPS, but that would just be more time consuming, and then you'd have to change the rate at which you animate your frames. Because common industry practice, especially when it comes to short animations or just entertainment in general, is people usually tend to animate on twos, so they don't really use the full depth of their animation. Like I would say something like a Jujutsu Kaisen or even Demon Slayer, that sort of animation is animated on twos, and then when it comes to their action sequences, that is when they will sort of speed it up, and you can see them animating on ones. So I used to have a job in retail, but due to environmental issues, I had to quit my job. So I'm currently in the process of finding new employment. That's the best way I can say it. Exactly. I'm trying to find a job. But I do have money in my savings, so I'm pretty well. I'm not going to say I'm well off, but I can survive for a bit. And then I live with my mom too, so it's not like I'm living on my own. Long term, I do hope to do more freelance work, freelance animation, and some graphic design on the side. But for now, I'm just taking things one step at a time and I'm doing what I can. That's really all you can do, especially in this day and age, because things can get difficult out here. That's really all that can be said. I applied to Target, so I'm going to call them in a bit. And I'm also going to apply to. There was another place, but I forgot the name of it. I applied to Target. I'm going to call them. Sure, why not? I do have to go back here because there is a. Not a missing segment, but just an area in the animation that it turned off for a bit. Uh, right here. That should be it. Oh, hey, Calico, how have you been? So that's the animation I got so far. Well, Calico, currently I'm working on this animation. I'm at the coloring phase right now, and I'm almost done with coloring the model. I just need to color the feet, well, the shoes. But things are coming along quite nicely. It's taking me some time, but things are getting there. Actually, I may want to go a bit paler. I tried to use the color of the eye for the shoes, but that was a bad idea. I don't want to go for the consistency of like Timberland, but maybe if I can, definitely want to go paler than his skin color. And then when it comes to this, I can see about lightening it. That's a good color for boots. Of course, come back anytime. I'm about to reach the 2 hour mark, so I think for today's stream, I'll probably go till about 2 hours and 30 minutes. That can be pretty fun and interesting. But anyway, speaking of animating and characters, so I got some. Uh, I don't know if I should say it or not, or if I should even talk about this subject. But like, Natland, the teaser for Natland just got released for Genshin Impact, and I'm trying to be neutral on the subject because I am a creator myself, and when I'm upset, like, I'm not the kind of person who's going to redesign existing characters. I more so just make my own. But like, okay, a lot of the Natland characters in Genshin Impact are white. Like, a lot of the Genshin Impact characters for Natland are white, and I just want to show this real quick. If I can find it on Twitter, or rather X. Actually, I may have to go on. And like, there's so much discourse going on Twitter right now about how pale they made the Natland characters. But like, right here, this is the Archon. Okay? Like, this is the Archon for Natland. Red hair, yeah, that's good, but like, she has a full black bodysuit. Like, she looks more so like she's a motorcycle rider or something like that. And then people are going on Twitter right now and they're recoloring and making the characters darker skin. Right here, this is Owoh. He's supposed to be inspired by like a Nigerian god, but he's like pale skin and he has black hair. Now, this is actually a recolor. The original design is way lighter skin. Like, this is another light skin character. These are recolors as well. The original character art is lighter. Another recolor. Exactly. You can paint skin. Actually, let me be careful and because I don't know how to blur stuff yet. So as I'm scrolling through, there might be something inappropriate. But like, yeah, a lot of the characters are just light skin. And then here's actually a perfect picture. Like somebody actually went through the characters and took a sample of their skin tones. Like this is light, 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 light. Like all of it's light skin. All of it's light skin. But like this is a story that's based on like Latin America, like along the equator, where the sun is beaming directly down on these people. Like they took inspiration from Latin America as well as from African tribes. So I'm like, how can you make characters this light? And it's no excuse because, okay, so here's actually something that people do not know. And when you see this, this is actually something serious. Like I'm about to expose these folks, okay? Let me show you something about let me show you Mihoyo's first dark skinned character. Okay, give me 1 second. Just be patient with me. Just be patient with me. One moment, please. I'm gonna have to scroll through their manga. I believe it was chapter 40 or something, either 38 or 40. Or maybe it was before this. I don't know. Okay, so real quick, are you guys with me? It took me a second to. It took me a second to find. Right here. This is Mihoyo's first. This is Mihoyo's first dark skinned character. Okay, this is their first dark skinned character. This is Lewis. Okay, this is Lewis. Now let me actually go to their wiki real quick. This is Lewis. Okay, this is Lewis, Mihoyo's first dark skinned character. Like, 1 second before one second before you actually say anything. Okay, this right here is Lewis's wiki. Okay, it says that their gender is female. Their gender is female, but clearly that is a man's body. Okay, that is a man's body. They are a B rank Valkyrie. Now, Valkyries are a female only organization of monster hunters. They kill monsters known as the Honkai. This is clearly a masculine body, even though the gender is female. The do you see the issue? That is a man's body, okay? That does not look like a woman. And clearly they know how to draw. And clearly they know how to draw dark skin. That's the issue. They clearly know how to draw dark skin. They just choose not to. And they make these light skinned characters look beautiful. But then their actual dark skinned character, now this is a female, but it's a man's body in high heels, in thigh highs, in short shorts, with a crop top jacket. And this is supposed to be a female character. See, look, their Wikipedia says female. And I'm all for, I'm all for diverse outfits. Okay, I'm all for diverse outfits and different outfits. My male characters, like, I mean, look at Ayo's design. He wears thermals and short shorts, so I clearly don't have an issue with that. It's the fact that you are explicitly calling this a female character, but it looks like a man. That's my issue, and this is their first dark skin character. This is Mihoyo's first dark skin character. It's called they're a female, but it looks explicitly like a man. That's the issue I have with this. So that tells me that you know how to draw women, you know how to have you know how to draw women. Like they make, and that's the thing, they make beautiful female designs. Like their women are all beautiful women. Like look at Himiko, look at March 7th, look at all these other characters that they make and design so they can clearly draw and design beautiful characters. It's just when it comes to your dark skinned characters, it's like you don't care. Or you try to come up with every excuse to not do dark characters. Or you make them look ugly. That's the issue I have. And then people are on X and they're either defending it or they're recoloring them because they know Mihoyo knows better. Because they can do better, but they choose not to. And then when it comes to their one and then when it comes to their one character, like this is the darkest skin. This right here is the darkest skin we've ever gotten in a Mihoyo game. Like that's really dark, but it's this ashy dark. It's an ashy, unsaturated dark skin. Whereas the character Lewis clearly has saturated skin, so their artists know what to do and how to do it. They're just choosing not to. They're just choosing to be obtuse about it. They know what they're doing. They're just choosing to be obtuse. But like, I'm gonna leave that to y'all. Okay, y'all can do whatever you want with that information. I'm still gonna be drawing and working on my original characters. As long as folks know, as long as you guys know that. And it's very strange and it's very sad because even then, my thing is that they have the ability to depict black people. And even outside of the controversy with this character, Lewis, having a man's name, yet being registered as female and being a mask, because the issue is that whatever way you try to cut this, it looks bad. Because with this character, Lewis, they're either saying, hey, black women are masculine, or B, they're calling black men effeminate cross dressers. But both ways you cut it is really bad with this character. But even with how they are colored, like this is a good saturated black character. Like despite the controversy, like this is a good color on this character. No, this is not AI. This was out long before there was any AI. This comic was done in like I think 2016. Actually, let me look it up real quick. I am gonna keep this on the screen for a while. Now I'm not seeing anything on a date. It's just telling me that like the in canon event was the year 2000, but Honkai Impact Third has been around since I want to say 2014. So think of that time frame of like 2014 to 2016, likely when this comic was released. So this is Mihoyo. This is Hoyoverse. This is their first dark skinned character, Lewis. But then when it comes to Natland, an area in a region that is based off of the equatorial region. Like this is along the equator. So Latin America and African tribes, these are their characters. Really puts things in perspective. And people are darkening their skin because they're unhappy. But that's the thing. Not many people know about Lewis. Not many people know about that specific character's history in Mihoyo's story, in Mihoyo's universe. Because not many people know about Honkai. And like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, they've been really lucky. But like, if this gets more traction about Lewis and that becomes a character and an entity in the forefront, then that's gonna be really bad because it just shows. Like, that's really all that can be said is at this point, I'm just gonna keep doing me. Honestly, at this point, it really is what it is. There's really nothing that can be done. And I'm not the kind of person that really flaunts towards trying to change other people. I'll just do my own stuff, make my own stuff, and then if folks like it and if folks flock to me, then so be it. I mean, I may make a video or I may just clip this and then release it on my channel or probably do like a quick, who knows. I'm just going back through and erasing all this because I had to draw the legs on a separate layer. I don't know why I was doing everything by hand when I could have just selected it and then pressed backspace. That's so much more easier and time efficient than what I was doing. You're just saying that. Calico, you're just saying that. These are actually done on separate layers, so I had to take my time with it. So one of the cool things about this world is everyone has their own sort of magical residue. So for Ao, his magical residue is purple, whereas other characters may have red or green. So that's definitely something. So I didn't really go for the elemental route, but you will be able to tell who's casting what spell. And I actually do want to go back through this and sort of add more detail because I don't know, I think this is just interesting. Like how I did this was very interesting. But I do want to change the color, at least a little bit of this. Like maybe to like a, not really a pink, but just like a paler. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot. For this frame, I actually put everything behind it. Let me actually turn these two layers off, and then I can go down here and color this. Yeah, that's it. That's better. One of the downsides about doing effects is you have to pay very close attention to it to make sure you don't mess anything up or ruin your animation. So I'm actually gonna have to go back here and delete these segments. Because this actually does eat up at my memory and storage on the file, which can lead to corruption. Definitely something that wants to be avoided. I do need to redo that mouth though. That actually looks really bad. Okay, look, the mouth ain't mouthing. I was working on that. I sort of just did something with the mouth because how I animate, I usually don't focus on features. I just focus on the main body and what motions they're doing. And then I worry about stuff like eye placement and what the mouth is doing all later. So really, look, don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. This is a judgment-free environment. Oh, welcome back, Blaze. I've just been working on these effects. Usually, when I'm just concentrating like this, I'll just get into the zone and then I don't necessarily forget, but I do like just focus on my animation. Okay, let's see here. Well, no, I always assumed that you'd come back. People are free to come and go as they please. So, for future reference, these are sit and chill streams. That means that this is just a time for me to work on an animation. And those of you who want to come and go as you please, you can. Don't expect me to. I'm not the kind of person who's trying to get as many views as possible. I'm just sharing my animation. That's really all I'm doing. So you guys can come and go as you please, or you can rewind. You don't have to watch me live. You can always rewind it, or catch my stream later after I'm done streaming. There's no pressure to keep going. Besides, I'm actually almost at the 3 hour mark, and I was initially planning on just stopping the stream at around, what was it again? 11? No, not 11. I was actually planning on stopping the stream at the 2:30 mark. I'm already 20 minutes over. I'm just working on effects now because initially I was working on the feet, and then I got that done. So the urge to draw just took over, and I'm like, hey, let me do this real quick. Good night. Oh yeah, you did. Well, I mean, you didn't tell me, but I sort of inferred that you were on the other side of the world. I actually noticed that I do have quite a few, I want to say, Middle Eastern viewers. Like, I remember a while ago, someone asked me my thoughts on Israel Palestine, and I'm like, I got a lot of international people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's sort of interesting to realize, like, hey, I have a diverse group of people who watch my stuff, which is always a good thing. It's always very interesting. Anyway, I might as well go myself because I didn't necessarily tire myself out, but it's like I've been doing this for a while and I think I want to go now. I do hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. Actually, before I do my whole outro thing, I do in fact want to show my animation real quick. Let's get this thing nice and centered. Of course, you're welcome. So obviously, I'm making progress. That's really good. Yeah, I like it. I like how it's going. I like the progress I'm making, especially with my animation. I've just decided to take my time with stuff. Like, this is pretty good. I can just touch it up a bit more in After Effects. And then I still haven't added my, and I still haven't done my shading yet, but this is really good. I like it. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm done for today. I think I'm gonna chill, maybe play some Elden Ring, apply to more jobs, and yeah, I'll see where things take me. I'll see where things go. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you guys got some good stuff out of me. I think I'm gonna take a break for a bit. Feel free to rewatch this stream as well as my older ones. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays. When I can, I try to start at 10 a.m. except for today because I was trying to get a job, but that's neither here nor there. I hope you all enjoyed. Real quick, road to 500. Once I reach 500 subscribers, I plan on doing a special extra long live stream, probably 4 to 5 hours long, and I'll be redrawing my first OC, which is a lovely lady that I revealed to you all last stream. So please be sure to rewatch that stream. And then when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I plan on doing a Q&A. A lot of growth, a lot of development, things taking their time, but I'm slowly getting up there. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, and I'll see you guys in my next video or live stream. See ya.